Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chase on Two Wheels here for episode 3 of the Learn How to Ride a Motorcycle series. In today's episode, guys, we're going to be going over how to mount your motorcycle. We're going to be going over how to get your motorcycle in neutral or double check that your bike is in neutral. Also, why you need to be in neutral to get your bike started. And then finally, we are going to get your bike cranked up for the first time. Now, what we're not going to cover is riding your motorcycle. That's going to be episode 4, and don't worry, we're going to do it in this giant parking lot, but that's going to be in that episode. We're trying to make these episodes super condensed, so we're not giving you guys too much information too quickly. Don't worry, once you start riding, everything we're going to be teaching you guys today is going to be second nature. You're never going to think about it, but when you're in these early stages, there is a lot of stuff going on to get a bike cranked up, to learning how to shifting, when to shift, how to use your clutch. There's a ton of information. So what we're doing in this Learn How to Ride series is trying to make it super condensed for you guys so it's easier to take in. So guys, we would not be able to do this series if it wasn't for Progressive Insurance. Progressive is sponsoring this entire series, so shout out to them. If you guys are learning how to ride, you're probably going to start riding soon. And when you start riding, something you are going to have is motorcycle insurance. So the thing I love about having Progressive sponsor this series, guys, is because from the get-go, I have had Progressive insurance. True story. I've had 3 to 4 motorcycles stolen. I have had multiple wrecks throughout my riding career. Had I not have Progressive insurance and them always replacing my motorcycle, replacing the gear I had on when I wrecked, if I didn't have them, I don't know if I would still be riding. I have had a great experience with Progressive. I highly recommend them. And if you guys are looking for motorcycle insurance, we will have a link down below for you guys to get a free quote for your motorcycle. Speaking of motorcycles, guys, we have the 2022 Yamaha R7 in front of us. We also have an MT-07 over here. We're going to be showing you guys how to do everything on both of these motorcycles. Shout out to Yamaha for letting us borrow these for this series. That's also my favorite motorcycle right now. Don't tell anybody. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into how to get these motorcycles cranked up for the first time. Welcome to the two-wheel life, fam. Let's get going. Alright guys, so we're here at the motorcycles. Let's get on these things. And to start off, guys, you're always going to get on your motorcycle on the left side. If you guys notice, the kickstand is on the left side. If we go kind of towards the back of the motorcycle, all motorcycles are going to be like this. They are all leaned to the left side. What that means is all of the weight is on this kickstand right here. So we always want to get on the motorcycle on the left side because that's where the weight is, and we're going to push the motorcycle up. So as you're going up to your motorcycle, you're coming up to it, you're on the left side. All right, guys, so we're here on the left side of the motorcycle, and you're not just going to jump onto this thing, right? There is a specific way to do it. We're going to be swinging our right leg over the motorcycle, but first off, grab your handlebar because you're going to need stability. You don't want to be knocking your motorcycle over on accident. We got our left hand on the handlebar. Now, we're going to be throwing our leg over the bike, but before we do that, we're on a relatively flat area right now, but just in case you guys are practicing somewhere where maybe it's more sloped, it's good practice to go left hand to left handlebar, right hand to right handlebar. If you guys remember from previous episodes, we have our front brake right here. To make sure that the motorcycle is not going to go anywhere, we're going to hold both handlebars with both hands and pull that front brake in. What that's going to do is make sure the bike's not going to roll away from you because you're probably not used to dealing with having the weight of the motorcycle underneath you for the first time. So now that we're ready to get our right leg over, we're going to go left hand, left handlebar, right hand, right handlebar, holding our front brake in. We're going to swing our right leg over the motorcycle. We're going to pivot on our left leg, and I'll show you guys what this looks like. Left hand, left handlebar, right hand, right handlebar, front brake. I'm swinging my right leg over. My left leg, you can see my foot's now pointed straight with the motorcycle. Now I'm on the bike. Now, for you guys to be comfortable, I would recommend you still are holding the handlebar. Now, as you guys can see, we're on the motorcycle. Now, I'm not holding the front brake, but like I told you guys, we're on a relatively flat area right here. I don't really have to. But if it's a sloped area, still hold on to the bike just like this. All right, guys, so we are now mounted on the motorcycle, but as you guys can see, the motorcycle is a little crooked, so we need to get this thing balanced and upright and under our own control. So we're going to grab these handlebars again. Like I showed you guys, I'm going to grab that front brake. I'm going to move the handlebars straight. Now, just in case you guys are doing this from a motorcycle locked position, I'll show you guys how to do that. So right now, I can't move the handlebars straight because it's in the lock position. So I'm going to push down, move over in the off position so I can now move the handlebars. So now, make sure you've got a good grip here. Make sure you got all your weight on your left foot. What we're going to do is push off with our left foot, and now we have the motorcycle straight up and down. You guys can see now that I've let the front brake go, I can roll the bike back and forth. Now be careful. This is another place where I would highly recommend you guys do this practicing on a flat area just to make it a little easier for you guys. So guys, right now I've got the motorcycle under my own weight. I don't have to hold the handlebars because we're on an R7. It is a lighter motorcycle. As you guys can see on my legs, I can move the bike back and forth. Now, one thing I like to do is lean the bike over some. Now, something to note, I'm on a lighter motorcycle. I've also been doing this for a long time, so I know how far to lean. But what I want you guys to do is just get used to where the weight is. You can lean it back and forth. You guys can see that my left foot's not even on the ground. I'm kind of leaning onto my right foot. I'll do the same thing on my left foot just to see where that weight is. Another thing I like to do at this point on a motorcycle specifically that I haven't been on before is kind of just, get a feel for like how the steering likes to do and how my body position is. Here on the R7, my body's a little leaned forward. I can get both feet flat-footed on the ground. But this is good stuff to know. That way, when you get familiar with this motorcycle, and we progress to episode 4 where you guys are actually going to be moving on the motorcycle, if you have to come to a quick stop, let's just say, boom, you come to a quick stop, you're not used to the motorcycle and how the weight is, and when you come over, you can grab yourself and you're going to be a little more accustomed to how that weight feels with the bike leaned over a little bit. So it kind of just preps you guys up for knowing some stuff just in case you guys get into a sketchy scenario moving forward. All right, guys, so now that you have gotten familiar with the weight of your motorcycle, we're about to get it started, but before you get the bike started, I want you guys to take an opportunity right now, look at your mirrors. Are you able to see behind you? You can move these mirrors all around. Realistically, you're going to be riding in this position. Your body needs to be a little bit in the mirror so you can make sure you can, I can move my arm up and see behind me. Take this opportunity before you're going, anytime you ride actually, because you never know. Somebody could have walked past your motorcycle, knock the mirror, and the last thing you want to be doing while you're going down the road is be like, oh, look, I'm looking at my clutch lever. That doesn't help me at all. Take this opportunity and look at that. Move it, adjust it. You got it in the spot you need it. Cool, ready to go. Now, last step, we still have that kickstand down. We don't need that down because we have the weight of the motorcycle underneath us. We have the, our legs are controlling the bike, so I'm just going to kick that back. We showed you guys this in episode 2, but we can just kick it back and it'll fly back, and we're ready to check that the bike is in neutral now. All right, guys, we got the motorcycle under our own weight, and it's time to double check that the bike is in neutral. So we're going to turn the key to the on position. Your tach is going to light up or do whatever it individually does. It all depends on which motorcycle you're on. Now, as you guys can see here on the R7, we have a green in. That is telling me that the bike is in neutral. And if you guys remember from a few minutes ago, I've got the bike upright, and if I push it forward, the bike's just rolling. You see what I'm saying? It just kind of rolls. I can push the front brake and stop. I can move it backwards. The bike has to be in neutral for you to be able to do that. I'll show you guys. We can click the bike down into first gear. You can see we're in first gear here. Now watch what happens when I roll it forward. The bike kind of stops. Move it back, bike kind of stops. This is because the motorcycle is in gear and you are pushing the gear to try to make it move, but you are a weak human and not able to move the entire engine of the motorcycle. So if I pull the clutch in, I pop it back into neutral, boom, we can roll again. Now, if you were in neutral, you have your bike turned on, you could crank the bike up right now, but I want to kind of handle some situations that you guys might find yourself in. So let's just turn the bike off. Let's get the bike shifted into a different gear that we don't know about, okay? Now remember, this motorcycle has a gear shifter, or a gear indicator, so we're fancy here. You might be on a motorcycle that doesn't have a gear indicator, but we're going to handle that no problem. Now, in episode 2, we told you guys how the gearing for a motorcycle works. At the very bottom, you can look at it as like a big tower. The first floor is first gear. If you go half a click up, you're going to be in neutral. That's going to be that green N. It's going to be green almost on every motorcycle, and it's going to either have an N or something. Look for green. You're going to be in neutral if you go up from first. It's only a half click. I don't know why they call it half click, but just let's roll with it. They do. So then, if we go up from neutral, we're in second. Now, once we're in second, it goes third, fourth, fifth, sixth. As a note, some motorcycles go from first to fifth. There is no sixth gear. So, however many gears up, that is dependent on the motorcycle. But in every single motorcycle, it's down for one, half up for neutral, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth onward and upwards. So, if we're in first gear and we need to get to neutral, we need to go a half click up. Now, the bike's not cranked up, and it doesn't have to be cranked up for us to change the gear. So, we're in first gear. We're going to pull our clutch in. You can pull it in all the way. I'm going to get my foot underneath the shifter, which is on the left side down by my foot. And if you guys listen, you hear that? I clicked it twice, and I got to second gear, so I missed neutral. If I pulled my clutch in, I'm going to very lightly press my shifter down. You heard one click. I'm now in neutral. I have no gear indicated, and I'm ready to go. Now, you shouldn't really ever be in a higher gear than maybe second if your bike's not moving, but let's just pretend, right? Let's take this thing all the way to the top. Let's say for whatever reason, you stop your motorcycle in sixth gear. Maybe, you guys are brand new. Maybe you forgot to shift down in coming to a stop. And we'll get to coming to a stop in later episodes. But you guys do the exact same thing. Pull that clutch in. Get your foot on top of the shifter because we're going to be pushing the shifter down. Push it down. If you guys notice, it doesn't tell me a gear. That is very normal. If your motorcycle's not moving and you try to shift, sometimes the gear doesn't really click in right. So you might have to move your bike around to get it to activate that gear. Now we'll do this in fourth. I'm doing the exact same thing. You guys see I release the clutch, it tells me the gear. Hit it down, no gear. Move it forward a little bit, turns to 3. We're going to go all the way, right? I'm moving it around. I can go to first. Half click up, I'm in neutral. You guys have to be in neutral to get the bike started. You don't necessarily have to be in neutral. Some bikes, you have to hold the clutch in. You guys are going to have to look up what your specific bike wants as far as how to crank the bike up. But in general, no bike will have a problem starting in neutral with the kickstand up. These are things to just keep in mind. So that's getting the bike in neutral. That's shifting whatever gears you have to get to neutral on your motorcycle. And now at this point, our bike is turned on. We have mounted the motorcycle. We are ready to crank this thing up for the first time. All right, guys, so we're sitting here with the R7. We got the bike under our own weight. We can wiggle it back and forth. As you guys see up here, we've got our green end. So everything is ready to get this bike cranked up. Now, I will direct everyone's attention to the starting area of the motorcycle. So, guys, this is your kill switch. We talked about this in episode 2 of what this is and what it does. But in case you skipped that episode, how dare you? We have to click the bike to the on position. Nothing happened. This is not an electric motorcycle. This bike is not on right now. This is not the crank the bike up switch. That is the starter switch right here. You have to have the kill switch in the on position. If you have the bike in the off position of the kill switch here, watch this. We got nothing. We ain't cranking up. We ain't going. We ain't interested in that. Okay, but watch what happens. We click this on. We click the starter, and then double check neutral, double check everything. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, you have started your motorcycle for the first time. All right, guys, so that was how to crank up the R7, but the MT-07 here is a little different. In my experience, the R7 has more of the old school where the kill switch is one button and then the starter is a different one. But the MT-07 here has the newer style stuff. If you guys notice, it looks a little different. There's what the MT-07 looks like versus the R7. We also have a green circle with an N. We are still in neutral. We have our kickstand up. We have the MT-07 under our own weight. It is time to start this motorcycle. It's almost identical to how the R7 is, but it is slightly different. We're in the stop position, right? Obviously, I told you guys we can't even hit the starter because they've integrated it. So watch this. Click it one time. We're in the run position, which could be a little confusing because the bike's not running. But this is the exact same position as we will need once we hit the start button. So all we do with the same button, press down one time, the button will release back up to the run position, and now the bike is cranked up, we are running in the run position, and we are ready to go. Now, just like the kill switch over here, if we click this to the stop position, the bike will turn off. So again, let's press it down to run, one more time to start, release it, and it returns to run, and we're ready to go. Your bike is cranked up. Congrats! If you are on an MT-07, you are in for a ball of fun, ladies and gentlemen. I know at this point, you guys are hearing your motorcycle turned on. You're probably super excited. I don't blame you, but I will warn you, I don't think you guys are ready to just start ripping wheelies through parking lots yet. Here's a little practice thing, because this is the end of this video. We got the bike cranked up. Congratulations for making it through another Learn How to Ride series. You guys are one step closer to riding the motorcycle. But before you guys start learning the clutch and how to use the gears, I want you guys to practice something. We've intentionally chose this parking lot because it has a slight angle. What I want you guys to do, we're in neutral. We have the bike under our control. Our kickstand is up. I want you guys to get used to using the motorcycle and how the weight is. Here's what we can do. Using your feet. I'm Flintstoning it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just pushing the bike. But watch what happens when I get on a downhill. I'm tucking my feet up. And look, I'm rolling the motorcycle. No gear, look. But what I'm doing is I'm learning, I'm getting a feel for how the bike wants to move. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be too impatient for this, but I really recommend you guys do this to feel what the motorcycle feels like before we start using the clutch. When we start using the clutch, these hands are going to have to be doing stuff. You have this front brake, you're going to have the clutch, you're going to have to be using a lot more tools. Right now, there's no tools other than that brake. So we can just push the bike over, get it on a hill, and it'll just start rolling. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be doing this feeling stupid. That's the point of making these videos. I want you guys to be able to learn in an area that you don't have to feel judged by people. You know what I mean? Nobody's out here. I don't care about anybody watching me right now. I'm just rolling the bike around. I'm getting a feel for how that weight is. I'm getting a feel for what the bike does when I lean my body to one side. And now eventually in the next episode, in episode 4, we're going to be using the clutch and the gears to be moving this motorcycle. That's when we're going to be putting it in first gear. We're going to be moving around the parking lot. We're going to talk about counter steering. We're going to talk about how to lean on a motorcycle. We're going to be talking about all that stuff you guys need to know to ride these things around in a parking lot situation only. We are not going to be leaving this parking lot for episode 4. That will be episode 5. Episode 5, we're going to be on the streets, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to teach you guys a lot of stuff to keep in mind, to keep you guys safe. Because at the end of the day, all me and the guys want is for more of you guys to learn to ride in a safe manner so that you can enjoy riding like we enjoy riding. And that way we can increase the amount of people in this riding community. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. And we cannot wait to not go over this bump really hard. We cannot wait to teach you guys more stuff and learn you how to ride. Back in neutral, we're back to a stop. Kickstand down, kill switch off, key off, exiting the bike on the left side like we got on it, using the handlebars as stability. Guys, that's how to start a motorcycle for the first time. I've been Chaseontwowheels. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you guys are interested in learning this entire thing of how to ride, we've got a playlist link in the description down below. That's going to take you through every one of our Learn to Ride episodes. So if you guys are brand new to riding, that will make it super easy for you. We take you from the point of not even knowing what the controls are to learning how to ride on the road. So we highly recommend, if you guys don't know what you're doing, feel free. Watch that series as much as you guys possibly have to. Share it to your friends. let's get more people riding on motorcycles. And guys, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It's what lets us know we are doing a good job. And subscribe if you're getting into the motorcycle community, guys. We make nothing but motorcycle content here on Chase on Two Wheels. And hopefully this video helped you guys out. And we'll see you on the next one. Later. All right, outro crew. If this is your first outro crew thing, welcome. All that means is you made it to the end of the video, and I appreciate you getting to the end of the video. Outro crew, let us know when you guys started riding, or maybe you're new to the outro crew, how many of you guys took the time, went to an empty parking lot, and actually rode around the parking lot under the own weight without using the clutch. It's super important, but I would imagine most of us got too excited and went straight to riding straight off the bat. How many of you guys actually took the time and practiced in a slow and methodical way? Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Later.